Here's how Tom Hardy packed on 30 pounds to his role in Batman and how you can copy his exact strategy. Because what happened to him, you're about to see, went very, very wrong. When we think of Tom Hardy now, we picture this thick, brutal-looking monster of a man. But that's not where he started. He was a skinny kid trying to break into acting. His first big transformation happened in 2008 for the film Bronson, and that's where the problems began. Bronson, he did what's called a dirty bulk, and it was very, very dirty. I'm talking full-fat Coke, Haagen-Dazs, Ben & Jerry's, pizza every single day. So he could gain 7 pounds in a week. I know, pretty mental. 5 weeks, 35 pounds. Heavy do that. And when you gain weight that fast, the majority of it's obviously not going to be muscle tissue. See, he wasn't building some superhero like obviously we saw on screen. He was building issues that would follow him around for years. That's the look of a prisoner who's trained almost only with bodyweight work. No structured strength, no progressive overload, no real plan to build serious muscle. He built a good base of muscle, obviously, but nowhere close to what he needed. And this is where the first warning sign showed up. Those traps, I wouldn't mind a pair of them. Mystery traps that would only get more mysterious as the years went on and the roles came. Then came Warrior, where Hardy had to become a shredded MMA fighter. And before we carry on, can we just appreciate how good of a film that is? This was a totally different look. More muscle, less fat, and way leaner. And here's where Hollywood played their favourite game. Training 7 days a week, hours of MMA every single day, chicken, rice, broccoli, the blandest foods ever you can imagine. That was his life. I guess that's the story they tell all of us, right? But the truth is, nobody, and I mean nobody, with any of the best genetics in the world can build muscle and lose fat at that rate for a consistent period of time without a little assistance. And then traps and delts are the biggest giveaway of all. God, I sound jealous, don't I? It's kind of because I am, but that's not the point I'm trying to make. The reason I say this is because if you didn't know, the traps and delts have more androgen receptors than almost any other muscle. So when somebody's enhanced, those areas blow up. And the big man's certainly exploded. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the work he did to get them is completely fake. I'm more meaning the timeline it took him to achieve these results. We fast forward to the Dark Knight Rises, he had one job, get as big as possible. So he went straight back to the dirty bulk. 4 days a week in the gym, mountains of pizza and 30 more pounds in just 3 months. And even Hardy admitted himself most of that weight was not muscle. It was fat, lighting tricks, and a couple of cheeky camera angles. Behind the scenes, he looked like a normal guy who lifts a few times a week, nothing special, nothing close to the absolute monster that we saw on screen. And here's the part Hollywood never advertised. These extreme transformations left him with aches, chronic pains, and long-term injuries he still talks about today. Even with enhancements, even with the best trainers in the world, your body will always still have a limit, no matter who you are. And when you force it past those limits, you're going to pay for it later, no matter how hard you are. But here's the good news, after all of that negative, you can still build a physique like Tom Hardy without the assistance and without all these chronic aches and pains. It all comes down to 3 simple steps. Step 1, follow a strength-focused program with traps, posterior train, and shoulders as a priority. 2, non-negotiable, get 8 to 9 hours of good quality sleep. Remember, when you're in the gym, you are damaging and breaking down your muscle. When you're outside of the gym, resting, recovering, and sleeping, that's where your body is changing and that's where your bodies are growing. That's why we need to make sure that that is a big, big priority alongside the training. And step 3, you need to make sure you're eating in a consistent calorie surplus. You want to be aiming to gain around 0.5% of your body weight per week. Not 7 pounds in a week, slow, controlled surplus, gradually seeing that scale weight rise. You want to make sure that you're assessing this every single week and only giving your body more food when it needs it. Yes, food is fuel. Do not get into the habit of just increasing your food for the sake of it, right? If you are growing, if you are getting stronger every single week, your recovery is good, you do not need more food at that specific time. When the scale weight stalls, when your progress in the gym stalls, or when you don't feel like you're getting enough recovery in between your sessions or your recovery is just naturally a little bit lower, then naturally you can drip feed yourself a little bit more food. I would always go around 100 to 150 calorie increase. The reason I say that is because I was always go on a smaller increase, because then you can see how your body responds to it. If, for example, the weight stays the same, then you can drip feed yourself a little bit more food, right? If obviously scale weight starts to rise again, you know you've done enough to keep moving the needle forward. And then again, it's a case of waiting until that starts to plateau, and then again, giving yourself a little bit more food. Again, remind yourself, only give myself more food when I actually need it. Don't just increase your food for the sake of it, or yeah, you'll gain a little bit of muscle, but you're getting a lot of fat, and it's only going to make your life more difficult when it comes to do your dieting phase, because you're going to have to do your diet for longer, and it's going to have to be more restrictive, and the likelihood of you eating into muscle tissue drastically increases. So if you do all of that, you stick to it consistently, there is no reason why you can build the physique that Tom Hardy had in my favorite film, The Warrior. Lean, athletic, but with some massive traps that are touching your earlobes, which, if you're watching this video for this long, that's essentially what you want, right? But with all of that said, do not expect it to take 4 to 8 weeks, right? You want to make sure, like I said earlier, you're building your food up gradually, which means your scale weight should rise gradually over a long period of time. I would usually say to my clients, when we are doing a gaining phase, we want to be between 16 and 24 weeks. Again, seeing that scale weight rise over a period of time, watching the numbers in the gym rise, but again, only drip feeding yourself more food when you actually need it. So yes, you're adding on weight, but it's good quality weight. And then when you come and do your diet, because you're still relatively lean, it's much, much easier to do that. And the likelihood of you eating into muscle tissue isn't so high. If you want to get massive like Tom Hardy and stay lean in the process, then follow that step-by-step strategy and learn from the mistakes that Tom did. And if you found this breakdown useful, or maybe Tom Hardy's a little bit too big and you want more of a lean, athletic surfer look, in this video here, I broke down Jake Gyllenhaal's transformation from his film Nightcrawler to Southpaw step by step, so you could copy his exact strategy. As always, like, comment, subscribe. If you did enjoy it, show me some love. I'll see you soon. Peace!